Hello, I'm Gator, and welcome to the second video in my Getting Started series, teaching you how to do what I do and allowing you to see and follow along with what I'm looking at every day when I trade. In this video, we're going to be going over my charts, the software that I use, and the information that I have on those charts so that you know what I'm looking at, and when I start saying things, there won't be any question. You'll just know and you'll have the same layout that I have, or at least the same information that I have. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that I look at and that I actually have in the center of my screen is this 9-chart layout. And before I get into this, the software that I use is TC2000. So TC2000 is my preferred software. You don't have to use that software. It's not a must. It's not a necessity. There are other ones out there. I find this one to be extremely effective. I really love using it, and I have no reason to switch. So I'm going to show you a few things that I think are very important to use and that I think help me every day. And instead of having to learn how to do this and create this yourself, I'm actually just going to copy this and I'm going to put it in the video description. So I'm going to put it in the video description. You can then take it, copy it, and download it and use it yourself on your TC2000 layout. And the nice thing is there's hundreds of videos out there showing how to use this software. So I don't think I can one-up those or do anything better than that, so I'm not even going to try. I'll tell you the information I use and what I use it for. I'm by no means an expert, so if you have some hints or tips for me, please drop them in the comments below. Let me know. I would love to see them. I would love to improve my usage of this software. But let's go ahead and get started. So this is what I'm looking at. I have a 9-chart layout here, and again, the link to this is in the description below. So I just have these charts up. For the sake of this, it doesn't matter what you have where. The two things that I always have are the triple Qs and the spiders, because most of the names I play are tied into these two stocks. So if I see them tanking, I know there's a good chance that, you know, the stock I'm in, like if I'm trading Apple or Tesla and both the spiders and the Qs are tanking, there's a good chance I might want to exit my scalp long in Tesla. So these two charts are always here. That's just where I like them. So I keep them up here at the top, and they are always, there's always a quick reference here. So other than that, I will rotate these generally based on what I want to play, because I have my fidelity layout, which if you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. If you are watching this one and that one, you should definitely watch them side by side so you know how you need to set up your broker to do what I do, and then this is how I set up my charts. So when I say this is video 2, that's what I mean. These go hand in hand. So I usually have charts I'm more actively trading to the left. The reason I have them towards the left is on my computer setup, fidelity is to the left of these charts. That's where my eyes can quickly glance over and catch them, and then ones I may be kind of on a back burner or over here on the right. But you can customize that how you like it. The second thing that I look at, and I'll come back to all these different levels and all these different things I have on here, is I have a 1-chart setup. A little window down here at the bottom that I click on that I can open up, and I usually have this set to the daily. I go through this beforehand, before the market, and I look at daily, I look at the pre-market. Today is a Saturday. If it wasn't a Saturday, I could see where this was at. If it was pre-market, it would be moving. So I'll come in here and I'll check on this just to see if things are gapped up or they're gapped down. I'll also have this open during the day sometimes, and I'll just look at different daily setups if something is coming up on a different level. So I like to have a daily chart up, and I like to be able to kind of view this out, zoom in, draw these different trend lines, and a few other things on this. One other note while we're on this daily chart is these lines that you draw on your daily chart will actually translate and show up on your 1-minute 9 chart. This can come in handy because one of the things that I think is really smart to do is highlighting the previous day's high and low. You can do that by clicking on the edit tool near the top right of your chart right here, and then selecting the H line or horizontal line right here. And it's very important to have snap to checked so it can actually snap to the exact top of a candle. So if I put it in here, that's on the top of that candle. So then if I was to go to cross and I was to put it on there, you can see the top is 108093 and the top of this is 108093, and you can also compare the low there of 1010. Then you right click, edit, and you can change this to whatever color you want to. You can change the line thickness and all that. So this allows you during the day to see the top and the bottom. So if I was looking at a daily chart, this is still my 1 minute chart from those 9 charts you were looking at, and my drawings synced across all of the charts I am working with. And you can see right here the day low that I drew, and right here the day high that I drew. So all of the levels I am looking at appear across all the charts I am currently working with. Well, sometimes you can have support and resistance here, and if you're really focused in on a name, you can forget that it's near, say, a day low, like the previous day's low. So you can see Tesla's day low here, and what's nice about that is the next day in Tesla, so let's say tomorrow, this day's low could be a buying level or a selling level for some people. So as you're actively trading, it's nice to have that come on your screen. So if you're looking at this daily on your 9-minute chart or on one of your other charts, it will show up and you can, watch it come towards it and know like, hey, it's about to break yesterday's low. I could get some volume through this level. I could get some extra momentum. It might bounce at this level. So it just gives you that little bit of awareness on where your stock is trading. So you can go through and do that daily if you want to. I think it's a very wise thing to do and a very helpful tool. That's the main thing with the daily. I'll come back to some other things in here later, but I have this one open. I do use this one throughout the day. It has these same moving averages. So these charts are all here, and I will come back to them briefly, but let's go to my final chart that I use during the day, my 4-chart layout. And I've talked about this 4-chart layout before. I have it on some of my other videos. It has a few less indicators on it, and this is my homed in chart. So the name I'm currently trading, this is what I look at. I have my watch list here that I put on the side, and you can just add names here if you'd like to add them and change them. So you can actually use the arrow keys to navigate through this watch list. And if you have your charts synced up using the tool up here in the upper right hand corner, you can see mine is set to blue. All of the charts that are linked to the same color will update whenever you switch through this watch list. And you can see that happening here as I'm switching through different names. Another little fun note about this, I do like the hotkeys, but you can have your hotkeys set up like Control 1, Control 2, and it can change you between the different time frames on your chart. So that really comes in handy, in my opinion, as opposed to dropping and clicking stuff. You can just, use a hotkey. So if you want to do that, you can mess around with that. The stochastics that you see on here, I have a video, which again I'll put up here in a little tag. I highly recommend watching those videos if you haven't used them before. These things have really helped me pick entry points on names, and it's an extremely effective strategy. I can't recommend that enough. On this chart, if you click here on chart properties, so you can click on chart properties, you can see everything that I have. You can add these to your layout, so you can have the same information that I have. I'm using the EMA on everything but the 250. On the 250, they're the simple moving averages. Everything else is an exponential moving average. The exponential 8, the exponential 21, the exponential 55, exponential moving average 100, the simple moving average 50, and the simple moving average 200. Then on these, I also have the volume and the stochastics. I can quickly see that, hey, the stochastics are dropping down. This may be a good entry point or something. So I keep those on all my charts now. Another indicator that we use here is VWAP. If you don't have this, this is a great tool. So always have a VWAP and pivot points. Pivot points are these. This is resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3, support 1, pivot. These are all important, and you'll hear us calling them out all the time. Here on TC2000, it's just under this. You would click add pivot, and you could just do pivot and put that in. If you could figure out the difference in that and whatever links to that on your charting software, I highly recommend that. There's one other thing I'm missing. In chart properties, you go to price style. Under price style, you see yesterday's close and today's open. Those are two levels that I have on all my charts. So just like the lines that you draw in the previous day, just like pivots, which is support levels or resistance levels that are very accurate, these are other important levels that you should know. So this was the open on Tesla, and that was the previous day's close, so you can see it started to gap up from the previous day. So I have those levels on there as quick indicators that I can quickly look at it and know what it means. That is the main information I have, and what you need to have on your charts to look and to have the same information that I have. Be sure to check out the other videos in this Getting Started series. They'll help you get acclimated and have everything set up. So when we're talking, when I say I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that, you'll know that we're on the same page, and I'll know that you know what I'm talking about. Not only that, it will also help you to know what you need to do and what you need to be able to see in order to identify these strategies and setups. So now that you've seen my charts, the information that I put on them, the different layouts that I have, I think you have what you need to continue on. So thank you for spending your time with me, and I'll see you soon.